Wow, this is one of the lowest visibility landings I'm ever going to do. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're on the ground at Geneva in the Swiss Airlines Airbus A320, the Fenix A320, Hotel Bravo, India, Juliet, Romeo, and we're going to be flying today as Swiss 9er Tango Alpha. We're going to be doing this flight, bear with, from Geneva up to Brussels today, and it is one of the charter flights from my website. Thank you very much, Thomas Aziri, for chartering this one today. Brussels is an airport that I've flown into a couple of times, and Geneva is one I've never flown from. I just downloaded this scenery. It's a little bit FPS heavy from what I found is Geneva, but it seems to be doing the job at the moment. We're here at stand 10 ready for this one, and we're going to be on VATSIM as usual. Today we're going to be back on VATSIM. So I've got vPilot ready to go. We're going to connect as Swiss 9er Tango Alpha in the A320, which is this one. Beautiful. We'll connect, see who's about. There usually is quite a bit of traffic at Geneva. I was just having a look on the wonderful Volanta, and there was a few people from Volanta on here, but not on VATSIM by the look of it. Hear noises somewhere, so let's have a little gander, shall we? No. It seems like I'm very much on my own. Oh, excuse me. Here at Geneva. I'm the only person here at the moment today. So, okay. As usual, I'm using my Scratchpad, which you can download from a link in the description. I do plan on updating that soon because I need to add that I've definitely filed a flight plan because I forgot last time. And I'm using the A320neo checklist that I got off Flight Sim.to. I've also got a little checklist from Drew underneath as well for safekeeping. So we're going to jump into the aircraft and we're going to get GSX to do their bits first. We're going to operate the jetway. We're going to go Swissport International. Jetway is going to come over. And then we're going to ask for the boarding. Although we've got no power at the moment, so let's whack the external power on. Batteries 1 and 2. Crew supply, adheres to nav, strobe to auto, nav and logo, no smoking to auto, arm emergency exits, and the outer fuel pumps. Master switch for the APU, and then start. We are going to attach the pushback tug as of right now. Let me go back down to my procedures list. The APU should be available any second now. We'll hear that come into life. We'll pop the APU bleed on. Crew oxygen supply is done. Adheres all to nav. Nav and logo, strobe interior, seatbelts, no smoking, emergency exits. Oh, excuse you. You may be, but I'm not, so hang on. Fire tests. Probably should have done these before we obviously fired up the APU, but we'll do the engine fire test either way. We'll leave the APU on for now. Sorry, Drew. Fuel pumps, flight directors, fuel quantity, baro. Oh god, the frame rate around here today is pretty horrendous. Okay, so let's get the baro. 1036 today. I can't remember in this aircraft if I've got it synced up or not. No, but I'm going to apply that on it. Yes, I know. I'm going to do that on here. They are. Linked EFIS baro control. Bang in, put constraints on, wait for the IRSs to align, and then it's time to set up the MCDU. I've got it set up like this because of the last flight I did with Drew actually, so I'm just going to quickly whack this back onto something like this. Control Alt 3 to save that camera. We're on 122.8. We had a little call out on vPilot, but it's Frankfurt, so that's fine. Okay, so let's go to init. Let's do an init request. And there it is, bringing everything in. So we are going to be Swiss 9er Tango Alpha today. What's our cost index? Let's have a little ganders. Cost index is 12, so quite a low cost index today. And we're going to be cruising at flight level 300, 30,000 feet today. Go to the init B page. See if we can whack the zero fuel weight in. No, we'll do all that in just a second. We go to flight plan. LSGG departure. We're on runway 04 today, and we are on the Arbo 1 November. And then at EBBR we are on runway 25 left, and it's the Batty 6 Alpha arrival. Arrival ILS 25 left. Why did I get 26 left in my head? ILS Whiskey 25 left, and we are on the Batty 6 Alpha arrival. Approach fires. Oh, Flow 1 Hotel. We had that, didn't we? Flow 1 Hotel transition. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Let's go up to here. Let's get this on plan and just make sure that we have everything good to go. For some reason I can't use a mouse today. Let's just check it on that screen. Beautiful. Sounds good. Okay, then we need to sort out our performance. So we need to do the mass and balance. We need to load the aircraft, send that to the MCDU so it knows. Now is that the bit I forgot to do in the fly-by-wire previously? If you go to the initb page? Yes, okay, so it's got all of that now. That's really good. I forgot to do that in the fly-by-wire when I flew from Split in Croatia, and it caused quite the drama in the sky. Departure perf, right then. So we'll sync the load sheet, the final load sheet, and the live weather. We're going to be, yep, optimal config, no turget, no anti-ice, packs are going to be off. Calculate. 136? Oh, 149 today. Okay, so we'll then go down to the MCDU. It's got those in there. Flex the temp, 66. Flaps 2 takeoff today. Am I the only one that can smell it? Right then, before start we have the windows and doors closed, beacon, thrust levers, parking brake, APU and all that good stuff. We're going to disconnect the ground power at this stage. We'll just go onto the APU. We've got fuel in, so we'll put the central pumps on. Just got to wait for boarding. I'm going to put the initial altitude in nice and early here, so we're going to check the charts for the departure. We're going to be going left, turn when passing 7,000 feet, and then flight level 200. So we're going to come down to here and put flight level 7070 on there. Let's put constraints on for you, naughty boy. I am pleased with how things are. We're going to be squawking 2000 today over here, just because of the fact that we have obviously nobody on ATC where we are at present. God, my frame rate today is awful, isn't it? Wow. Because in the plane we're still on 122.8. Okay. Let's put that on and that on as well so we can hear Madam when we're ready to go. The IRSs are aligned. I'm going to close the cargo doors because for some reason it doesn't do it automatically. I'm just going to check that actually. Auto catering, auto connect GPU on arrival, service sequence. There's no sort of auto door things. Auto deboard, auto disconnect GPU. Okay, nothing on there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're a little bit ahead of schedule here because I did plan to depart at 11 AM. It's currently 1:45. Although it says on there 11:20, doesn't it? Oh, there's a little bong from GSX to say that we are all boarded. Just keep an eye on this safe gate here. Yeah, estimated time of departure 11. Oh, locally 11. So that would mean 10 my time, so I'm quite a while behind at the minute. Still, we have all of that sorted from GSX. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to be pretty much ready for push now, so I'm going to put the beacon light on. I'm going to bring that up top. We've disconnected the ground power, I'm pretty sure. Thrust levers, parking brake, APU, bleed, and yeah, external power disconnected.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
We had this the other day in my FedEx flight. Temperature is 3, dew point 0. Okay, so we've got icing conditions moaning at us. Jetway is away. Geneva traffic, Swiss 9 Tango Alpha, pushing back from stand 10 onto inner. We're Swiss 9 Tango Alpha, like I'm just going to show you now. We are pushing back from... Oh, let's whack this on. There it is. We're pushing back from 10 onto inner. We're then going to go via inner, outer, to holding point Gulf. So via inner. Down. Yeah. Got this pen. Right, are we ready or what? Release parking brakes, please. They're just sat around waiting, doing nothing. What do I have to do? Is there something on that I need to get rid of? Oh. Door's not closed. Why? Oh, right. Nose right. Facing southwest.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes are off.
Commencing push.
Okay, so we have to wait.
Due to icing conditions, please
So I've
stand
got
by
itchy
for
foot.
engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
Thanks again, Thomas Aziri, for chartering this flight today, mate. Much appreciated. You too can charter flights via my website. There's a small £10 fee for doing so and restrictions in terms of distance and aircraft. Pretty much it's the A320, the 737. When the 757 comes, I'm going to get used to that. There was a Bluebird announcement just the other day, actually, a few days before recording this. I'm very, very excited. They are going into beta with it. Still, let's push back, shall we? And enjoy the view. We should get asked now to... Yep.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brakes are set, mate. We need the engine mode in ignition in just a second. Throttle levers are definitely to idle. Thrust levers, I should say. APU and everything is all good.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
We just need to wait now for him to tell us that we're clear to start engines. He'll go and stand over there somewhere, and then he'll say clear to start engines, at which point I'll put it into ignition and start, and then we'll run engine number 1. There he is. Showing us the bypass pin, just to make sure that he's proven to us it's definitely out.
Clear to start engines.
Okay, let's do just that, shall we? I'm going to show you on the pedestal as well. I've got it down here on my right hand side, but I'm going to flick that little switch to ignition and start, and then start engine number 1.
Demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Illuminated signs and crew.
How cool is that little moment where it flicks over to the power, the buses transfer over? I don't know, I'm trying to say words. Seatbelt signs never went on, but we'll put those on as of right now. Just got to wait for a veil to come up on here, and then we can start engine number 2 on the right hand side. You can hear packs coming on. I think it's already good, isn't it? Stabilised at 18.5. Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe I'm just being an idiot then. Let's go back up here a little bit and start engine 2. There's hydraulic PTU fault. Interesting. Where might that be? How interesting. Okay. So let's go down here. We're already on the hydraulics page. They're all 3000 psi. That looks fine. In-op systems PTU. What's the PTU? I should know that. That's scary, because PTU, you get. I've heard of PTU barks where the plane does that weird little sort of noises. Is that because it's starting up? I don't know. I've never had that before. I'm concerned. Let's do a flight controls check. And it's moving the tiller as well. Yep. Help? Drew? Airplane Dad? Hello, darling. I was just Googling how to fix the PTU.
Is now secure for takeoff.
I'm wondering if there's... let me load up my Fenix app. Is there a status page or anything to do with failures on here? No. Okay. I don't know whether to get going. So it's the power transfer unit from the hydraulics, but it seems like it's fine because they've all got enough PSI. Let's go to the outside sort of chase cam thing. All the hydraulics and the controls seem to work, so I'm just going to assume it's a bug. I'm going to keep that up and just keep an eye on it. Right. Okay, so we've had our start, so turn the ignition back to normal. Then we have the flaps set. We're going to go flaps 2 for takeoff today. We've got the speed brakes down here. We're going to arm those. Thank you. Okay, so let's put the taxi light on. And let's tell everybody how it is. Geneva traffic, Swiss 9 Tango Alpha, taxiing runway 04 via inner, then outer Geneva traffic. Okay, let's power up these CFMs. We're going to go to the right here. Turn as soon as we can. I think I got this scenery a bit longer ago, actually. I think Jack and I were going to do a flight here, but we went to Zurich instead or something. We're going to go to the outer taxiway here. And while we do that, we're going to set the auto brakes to max, and we're going to do a takeoff config test. Did we need to speak to her earlier? No, we've already changed it over to that. Okay, what else? We want runway turn-off lights as we get onto the runway, but I'm going to put them on now because we're going to be turning in a little bit. We're going to go all the way to the end, use full length of runway 04. And before takeoff, We've got initial altitude, radar, terrain on ND. We're going to crack on here and do a bunch of this. Go to TA on there. Still squawking 2000. Predicted wind shear. Pop that on. Quite a fast taxi at the moment, doing 22 knots. Now, I haven't looked around all of this scenery all that much, but is that a Swiss Air Force FA-18 Hornet? Yes, it is. Now, the Swiss Air Force have a lot of Hornets, and they do an amazing aerobatics display at most air shows. The Hornet is one of my favourite fighter jets. Oh no, you ruined it, Geneva people that did the scenery. You've ruined it. You've done it in US Air Force colours. It's got a US Air Force around. No, bad. Oh, you go into so much detail with your scenery and then you do the wrong Air Force Hornet. Oh, I hope you're disappointed. Right then, we're here at Gulf. Let's put the parking brake on. Geneva traffic, Swiss 9 Tango Alpha, holding short of runway 04 at Gulf. Okay, so initial altitude is set, 7,000 feet on that. Radar as required, predicted wind shear auto, terrain on ND, auto brake set to max, transponder auto are on, altitude reporting is on. TCAS, TA, and we're going to put it onto TA and RA now for takeoff. ECAM memo, no blue, landing lights are going to come on, nose lights take off, strobe lights are on, and then we crack on. Okay, let's do this. Let's whack the lights on as if we've been given clearance. Come on. Always happens, this. No! Right. You get on. You get on. And let's tell everybody... Oh, let's do packs off. Let's actually remember that. I need to write that on my list. Geneva traffic, Swiss 9 Tango Alpha, departing runway 04. Eventually. Just have a quick check. There's nothing coming. Nobody on their way in. Geneva's very quiet today, it seems. I'm going to put the clock on, hit chrono. Line her up nice and sharp. Whoa, hello, Piggy. Just wanted to go around there. Up to 50%. Let's crank it. Okay, Manflex 66 SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. Oh, God, what was that? Big old bump in the road. 100 knots. Moving around a lot. God, we are having to absolutely haul today, aren't we? The aircraft is rotating on its own. V1 rotate. Positive climb gear up. I love the sound of this thing. Never gets old. Love flying this aircraft. God, just listen. Following the flight director on this little screen. You've all seen it before. We'll get lever climb here in just a second. Then the auto throttle will take over for us. There it is. Lever into climb. Nose comes down a little bit to match the speed. Nice and smooth. Initial altitude is 7,000. We can go flap 1 when we get to that little orange marker. Still battling. Ooh, big dip there. There was a sudden wind shear downwards. We've got a headwind of 6 knots. That'll be giving us an extra bit of lift, just not helping the speed too much. We'll go flap 1 in just a sec. We'll make sure we've surpassed that orange marker by a bit. So we'd ask the first officer, flap 1. The aircraft will speed up even more now we've got less drag. And we go past another orange marker. Flap 0. Okay, flaps are clean. Seatbelt signs on and off. And we'll whack the autopilot in. Bang him. Okay, after that, the flaps are retracted. Packs come on. It's probably just reminded us. Yep, we're doing it. Packs on. Speed brakes need disarming. Oh, that camera's not good for that. Speed brakes disarmed. Nose light off. Runway turn-offs come off. Seatbelt signs as required. Banging. Okay, let's continue on our departure out of Geneva. Right then, let's go into standard pressure. It's flicking at us a little bit. And then, yes, I know, we're below. It's fine. 7,000 managed, please. And we want to get up to 20,000 feet, or was it 220? Let me just check on the departure charts. It's this one. 200 or above at Likic. So we'll go 300. We'll go fully all the way up to our cruising altitude today. Sounds and looks brilliant with the low-res Swiss Alps in the background. Let's turn the landing lights off now that we're past 10,000 feet. Seatbelt signs can come off as well. I really do like the Swiss livery. I think it's really tidy because it's just so simple. I've always said this, haven't I, that I really like just a plain white livery with some text on it. Finnair liveries look good. I really enjoy there's another one that I see quite a lot that I really like, and I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head. I don't know. But there's a lot of really clean liveries out there that are just white with text on, and they look really good for it. We've still got that issue with the... Yeah, PTU apparently is still inoperative. So we continue up now. We need to be at flight level 200 or above at Likic, and it doesn't look like we're going to be. I was a little bit late on the climb upwards. We're still on Unicom on V-Pilot, but there's nothing going on by the look of it. If I head over to Volanta and have a look at the controlled space, there was a few landings on my sim when it loaded me in. It's landed twice, look. It had a little bit of a bop up and down. Scottish Centre's online. EDWW, Bremen radar, and Scottish control. What I'm also going to do is something I realised that you could do previously. If you click on this airport, it shows people that are all flying there into Brussels. Am I the only person going into Brussels? No way. Oh no, that's not the right one. Click that one. I was going to say, Brussels is normally quite busy. So they've flown out of Brussels, Mike Tyson spec. Oh yeah, I like that livery, that's cute. And in doing that, it's now unticked Brussels. So we've got, let's have a look at live traffic. Air France, Shamrock, Jaff. What's Jaff? I saw this one recently and I should remember it. There's me. A lot of Beeline, Ryanair, JetBlue. JetBlue from Copenhagen to Brussels. Some people don't like realism, do they? Still, we'll keep that on and I'll change it to only show VATSIM, just so I can see and keep an eye on who is where on VATSIM that's involved in Brussels at the moment. It's me. Nobody on VATSIM going into Brussels either. So it's all just on Volanta. That's something I often get wrong, is that I always treat everybody that's on Volanta as if they are on VATSIM. They're not all on VATSIM. Still, look at the conditions out here today. We've got quite a low cloud level, so we're up high now away from all of it, and it is looking marvellous. We're just less than 10 miles from the top of our climb now. Doing some pretty good speed as well, doing Mach 0.74. At the minute, ground speed is 440 knots. Going well this. Thanks once again, Thomas Aziri, for chartering this flight. Hope you're enjoying the video so far. Nice and straightforward, except for the PTU issue, which is really, really odd. I knew I'd seen Jaff recently. Jaff is one of the TUI call signs, and it's called, I think, Beauty. So that would be Beauty 50 Echo. I learned that recently on a Munich video at Tower Simulator 3. Sorry, on a Tower Simulator 3 video at Munich. Mach Alt cruise. We're going into cruise altitude now, so the speed is reducing, and then we're going to level out at 30,000 feet. Fantastic stuff. Right, I'm going to do my usual. Go and just get a quick drink and get something to eat. Back in a minute. thoroughly enjoying the cruise at the moment, but it's time to enter destination data for our approach. So we need to go over to here, check the arrival METAR. We need to check it's 1038, so what we're going to do is, of course, pop this in, put it to 1038, pull it straight back to standard before the aircraft moans at us too much. Make sure that's all squared up just for Drew. And then we need to head into our perf page, go to next phase, and next phase, and then start putting information in. So QNH, as we've just seen, 1038, that goes in the top part there. Then we get the temperature, it's 4 degrees, winds are 270 at 5, so it's 4270 at 5, pop them in. And then we need to get our information from the charts for the arrival, not the arrival, sorry. Intercept is at 3,000 feet, barometric minimums are 350, so we put the baro in at 350. I can't hear what that guy's saying. Flight level 070 at Flora, so we're going to put 070 in there and get that ready for our descent. So we're intercepting the ILS at 3,000 feet as we've seen. We don't need to do anything with courses or any frequencies or anything like that, because that's all taken care of in the Fenix. I've already chosen a stand, but I'm going to show you where that is. We went out on stand 10. I think I chose 209. Just make sure. Yeah, 209 I've got on here. We're going to be via the Batty 6 Alpha arrival. I didn't write this down earlier just in case there was any ATC on that could have potentially changed what my plans were. But yeah, we're going to be on runway 25 left, stand 209. I'm just going to go through the procedures list. Everything seems to be all good. We've still got an inoperative PTU, so that's going to be one for the tech log. Normally at this point you'd have airport on and you'd have it on 160, or at least Drew would anyway. We'll go 40 miles and we'll go back to constraints. Top of descent in just over 20 miles time. Just looking, because the aircraft seemed like it was going slightly sideways there, we do have quite the crosswind of 44 knots. So we are drifting sideways a little bit. That's not so bad. We can get away with that in the altitude we're at. Just having a look on VPilot. Nothing to do with us anywhere near us. We'll double check that with Volanta. Yeah, as you can see, Scottish Centres online, EDDH approach, Copenhagen approach. I am going to do more flying in Italy as well. I've not got any charters anytime soon that will take me to Italy, but I do plan on flying there a little bit more. I was going to do a flight for each of my trips that I would do for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. I do definitely want to go back to Bologna, because that's probably the airport outside of the UK that I've been to most. I know that one quite well from my trips to Misano and Imola as a motorsport commentator. But I think in my Volanta, my time on Volanta, let me just have a look on my map. I've only done like one flight into Italy, to Milan. Me and Drew did Rome Fiumicino a while ago, but I didn't have Volanta at the time, so that doesn't really count. But I'll maybe do something into Rome from France, or even just go from the UK. I think I've got a planned one from Stansted to Bologna. I think actually that's the truck racing one. Anyway, still, we're getting to top of descent now, so we're going to click managed 7,000 feet please. Mac descent, alt is blue, flight level 70 is blue. The aircraft is going to slow down, and we're going to begin descending into Belgium. We're going to go up top and put the seatbelt signs on now that we've begun our descent. Get everybody to sit the F down. We're right in the middle of this purple section here, so we're doing good for speed. The aircraft is matching up with the profile and will now start to descend a little bit quicker, as you can see here. Good news. Looks good so far. The detail these sims go into is pretty incredible, isn't it? I did notice though on that previous shot, the little sort of, I don't know what they're called, there's like the spiky bits on the back of the wings on the Airbus. The right hand wing has got these little yellow marks on the back, like the final panel is painted yellow. It's really strange. Not noticed that before. I did a lot of shots with the left hand side of the aircraft earlier, so I didn't really see that, but I'd be intrigued to know if that was on the real thing, or whether that's just a texture issue. And this again is why I love flight simmers. I've found this image of HBIJR, the aircraft we're flying in today, and look, the left-hand wing doesn't have these grey marks on it, but the ones on the right-hand wing have yellow ones on. It's that level of detail that I adore about these sorts of things. Also, a great example from this image is the landing lights. You can see them there just hanging down. So they sort of come forward and hang out. So I've never understood the whole retract and then on thing with landing lights. So if you look up here, you have them retracted, then you have them out but off, and then you have them on. Now I've never understood what those three modes were, like surely they're just on or off, but they actually sort of hang down from the aircraft and then stick out. It's really, really cool. Let me set up a camera and I'll show you. Okay, so the light is just there. Just there. See it? Now watch this. If we go back into the cabin and flick it just up, not on or anything, just flick it up, ready? There you go. I always wondered, and now I know, and hopefully you do too. We don't need those boys on yet because we are not below 10,000 feet. We're at 19,000 feet, just getting up towards Batty, descending at 1,800 feet a minute at the moment. The bottom of our descent, let me just check this, let's go to this and then go to plan. The bottom of our descent should be just before Zagra, so we're above flight level 060 there, and we should be at 7,000 feet at Zagra. We then need to be above 3,000 feet at Dikbo. Okay, we should be alright, I reckon. Doesn't look like there's any reason to worry. Making a nice left turn now. Let's have a shot of this, shall we? Like I said on departure, it's a very pretty livery, this, isn't it? Really simple, just white with a little bit of red on the tail and the obviously iconic Swiss cross, and then just Swiss written down the side. Looks mega. While there's a bit of a lull in the action, I'm going to put the auto brakes on. We're going to go for auto brakes low. It's quite a long runway either side at Brussels, so we don't need to have them on medium or have any major stopping power on. Hello, Gatwick and Zurich. Funnily enough, my next charter flight will be from Zurich. I've got one more charter lined up after this one at the time of recording, so if you want a charter done soon, then now's the time to get them in. We're doing well on speed at the moment. We want to be below that really, in this window somewhere. We're about to get to 10,000 feet, so landing lights will now come on. Going to change this down to 20 miles. We'll be getting to our bottom of our descent very soon. In just 3 minutes time we will be at 7,000 feet, unless the aircraft shallows it out like that. It is starting to decelerate a little bit though. You can see now, look, this window has moved further down. So the aircraft is going to slow down and then work on bringing the descent in. Let's have a little look through our systems, shall we? Engines, all good, we've seen that from above anyway. Nothing alarming there. Cabin pressure's looking all good, we've seen that go a little bit higher than that before. Electrics all showing as golden. Despite the PTU issue, the hydraulics seem fine. 3,000 PSI on each of the systems. Fuel is pretty balanced, only 50 kilos in balance. Obviously the APU is off. Air conditioning. Oh, it's nice and cool in there. Slides are already...
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for
Jesus,
land.
woman! Flight controls, all systems are good. Rudder trim, yep. Pitch trim is 1.4 degrees up at the moment. Lovely. Okay, 7,500 feet. Big frame stutters there. Whoa. Big frame stutters. To be fair, when it does load in Brussels actually, it can be pretty intense. Change this down to 3,000 feet. Brussels traffic, Swiss 9 Tango Alpha, preparing for the Batty 6 Alpha arrival for runway 25 left, Brussels traffic. Forgot what the arrival was then. I've got it on this. I've set this up so that if you are reading stuff out on VATSIM, this is what you read it from. Yeah, I do a transmission and do not hold it in hand. Put landing system on. There we go, IBL is all tuned in, 110.35, 18 miles. Not far to go at all right now. Let's bing bong the cabin. Let's get everything ready for arrival, shall we? So, landing checklist. Cabin crew has been advised. Auto thrust says off, but no. Auto brake set. That is on low. Flaps not set yet. We'll arm the speed brakes. Landing gear will be down. Then we want ECAM memo no blue. We'll click approach when we get a little bit closer in. I think that's our decel point here when we're about 15 miles out. So we're going to leave the aircraft at this speed. It's descending well at the moment. as I say in almost every video now, Drew says, no, he doesn't say that. 180 to 6, let's go into 1038 QNH pressure. Look at that, right on the diamond. More drag you want? Interesting. Okay, you can have more drag. We're suddenly above profile. Ooh. Turning in. We're going to ask the aircraft for 200 knots. I'm going to slow it down now and go to flap 1. Just to give it that extra drag, just to help it on that descent. Approach. Nice. Established. Brussels traffic, Swiss 9er Tango Alpha, fully established, ILS 25 left, 15 miles to run. Banging. Really pleased with that. That happened quickly, didn't it? This has all happened very quickly. We're on the glide slope all of a sudden. I'm sure we were intercepting the ILS at 3,000, not 5. 3,000. We're going to be going through some pretty tasty cloud in just a second. We are 10 miles out, so we'll ask the aircraft 180 knots. Slow it down even further, please. We'll be able to just go flap 2 in a second. Just going through 3,000 feet now. Come on, slow her down. Let's put the air brakes back out. Come on. Gosh, you don't want to slow down today. Wow. Okay. Gears coming down. Flap 2. Reduce the speed brakes. I'm going to ask it for VAP. Engines have gone idle. Arm the speed brakes. Auto brakes are armed on low. Brussels traffic, Swiss 9er Tango Alpha, landing ILS 25 left. Brussels traffic. No visibility whatsoever. Look at that. Make sure. Landing, got gear down, ECAM memo, no blue yet. We're going to go flaps 3 and then flaps full. Brussels traffic, Swiss 9er Tango Alpha, short final, ILS 25 left. Brussels traffic. Can't see a thing. We're going to get the 1000 call out not too far from now, but wow, this visibility is incredible. As in, there isn't any. Oh my days. We're at 1,000, runway still not in sight, it wants TA only. Let's change that. Still can't see a thing. As soon as the runway's in sight, I'll take the autopilot out. Can just about see the ground now. See it just here. A little bit of scenery visible. Wow, this is one of the lowest visibility landings I'm ever going to do. We are 2.5 miles out and I cannot see diddly.
500.
I can just see the landing lights now at 500 feet. Oh my word. Okay.
100 above.
My aircraft.
Minimum.
Continue. Jesus, this came out of nowhere,
100.
didn't it?
50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Oh, that felt nice. That felt nice. Going into reverse. That felt very nice. We're going to hopefully get off at the next one. We're at 60 knots versus stowed manual braking. Exiting off to the right, please plane. Brussels traffic, Swiss 9er Tango Alpha has vacated runway 25 left. We need to stop before this line as well though. Oh, big old stop. Okay, we're just going to hold short here. Brussels traffic, Swiss 9 Tango Alpha holding short, runway 19er. Okay, let's do our after landing checklist. Speed brakes have been disarmed, engine mode is in normal, flaps are retracted. TCAS goes back into standby. We then have radar off, that's down there, I'll do that in a minute. Predicted wind shear comes off. APU master switch and start switch comes on. Runway turn-offs will keep on, landing lights come off. Taxi light, strobe goes back onto auto. Smash him. We'll get GSX ready with our stand. Gate 2090 we want. There it is.
The chosen position is too small for your aircraft.
Is it now? Was it really? Let's go 207 then. Change facility. Gate. Let's go 207. Brussels traffic. Swiss 9 Tango Alpha taxiing stand 207 via Foxtrot 2, Echo 3, Inner 9er. Let's write that down, shall we, as well? I thought I was going to be Inno 9er and Tango earlier on, but no, we're going to be stand 207. Where did we vacate the runway? Charlie 4. Hope you're enjoying the video, everybody. Thank you very much once again to Thomas Aziri for chartering this flight today. This has been a really nice and straightforward one, actually. We needed a little bit more drag on the arrival there, but that's fine. We were at very high speed. Now we're on Echo 3. We're going to go Inner 9er, and then I believe, is it Tango after that? Yeah, Tango. So I can put Tango back on here. Hello, where are you going, pig? Inner 9er, Tango. Gosh, you don't want to play ball on the ground here. All of that with an inoperative PTU as well. I really do like the Brussels scenery. It's one of the first airports that I actually got scenery for. Me and my friend Dan fly into here quite a lot when we're doing our sort of offline group flights. We flew here with Drew, of course. I do hope to get Dan and Drew back on the channel at the same time again soon, so we can do another fun flight like we did in the past, because our previous flight that we did together was absolutely hilarious fun. And if you haven't watched that, I urge you to go back and do it. It was Dan and I, who are, I'm not going to say semi-professional, I'm going to say amateur flight sim pilots. But then Drew, who is a captain of the Airbus A320 for nearly 20 years now, coming with us, and he provided mighty amounts of entertainment. So we're going to turn our runway turn-off lights on. Taxi light is still on. I'm going to start the APU. Now, is that where the PTU is going to have issues, the power transfer unit? Because I could hear some sort of ding-dong behind me, or some sort of clicking and clacking. Let's just have a check of these numbers. 211, 209er, 207. Okay, taxi light off. Turn her into stand. There we go. Everything spawns in. Going well too quickly then. Not quite on the centre line. It's so hard to do the brakes when you've got it on a button. Crawling, crawling, crawling. This might be a 0-0 here. I might just fluke this. Oh my god, we're really crawling. The aircraft's quite heavy today, so it's taking its time. Just going to give it a little push with one engine. Oh, this is going to be surely an easy 0-0. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. I've absolutely ripped you off here. And then he goes and flunks it. Get in. Okay, so parking brake has come on. Let's do our shutdown, shall we? So its nose light is off, runway turn-offs are off, APU bleed comes on, let's make sure that's on. Engine masters 1 and 2, then seatbelt signs, beacon and fuel pumps. So let me just set up a camera outside to listen to this engine shutdown, because it's always lovely in the Fenix A320. Okay, so engine masters 2 and then 1 off. Let's get inside then. We'll turn the beacon light off and we'll turn the seatbelt signs off as well. And yep, deboarding has been requested, and then we'll turn the fuel pumps off. All beautiful. And the baggage and all GSX comes into life, and that's us here on the ground at Brussels in the A320 HB-IJR. Thanks once again, Thomas Aziri, for chartering this flight today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've all enjoyed the video as a result of this. And don't forget, you too can charter website files. Flights, no. Don't forget, you too can charter flights via my website, and I hope you do so. I really do enjoy doing these, because it puts me on routes that I wouldn't normally do, maybe airlines I wouldn't normally fly in. So yeah, check it out, give it a go, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day.